Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Hope everyone is having a good night. I want to welcome everyone to another episode of Mannimal Research. I will be flying alone again tonight. Our buddy Walls won't be joining us tonight. He had something come up, so he had to take care of it, and hope everything's working out okay for him. I believe it will, but yeah, he had something that needed his attention tonight, so he's doing that. But we'll get through it like always. We have a good guest on tonight. We have Mr. Rick Mallory on. He's on to talk about an encounter that happened to him up in Pennsylvania. Actually, happened to him and his wife out there. A pretty exciting encounter, and he's going to talk about some of the other stuff that he's been doing since that encounter, as far as his research and stuff. But like always, I want to ask everyone that is here watching it live tonight to hit that subscribe button for us, if you don't mind. Yeah, hit that subscribe button. Tell people about us if you don't mind. We're right there at that 600 mark, so that's good. You know, our goal is to hit 1,000 before the end of the year, and we're we're on pace for that, I believe. So we appreciate everything that you guys are doing. So hit that subscribe button for us if you don't mind. Also, if you would, head over to manimalresearch.com. See if we can pull that up real quick. Yeah, there it is. There's our website, manimalresearch.com. Head over there and check that out for us, guys. You can report your encounters over there. You can get information about coming out and doing some research with us, and yeah, possibly even coming on the show and sharing your encounter with everyone. You know, we don't have to share your identity with anyone. We can keep that a secret. We have ways of doing that, so that's a possibility, of course. So yeah, guys, head over to Mannimal Research and check us out, please. Manimalresearch.com. Also on Facebook, you can find us, Mannimal Research on Facebook. Got a group there. We got over 400 members there as well. We started it the same time we started doing shows this year, which is in January. We've only been public since January. So yeah, we're growing there as well. So on Facebook, you can find us there and join our group. All right, before we get started with our guest tonight, I'm gonna share a little bit about what happened to me yesterday. I went to my it's not Bigfoot related. I went to a reveal party for my son, my oldest boy, and his wife Jessica, Christopher and Jessica. Been married for a couple years now, and they are expecting their first little one, which will be my first grandchild. And we found out yesterday that they are having a little girl. So I will be having a granddaughter in February, coming up February. So my birthday's in February too. I don't think she's going to be able to hold off till my birthday. She's due in early February, and the baby's due around the 9th of February, I believe. So don't think it's going to make it to my birthday, but I want to say congratulations to both of them and love both of you guys very much. All right, all of that stuff out of the way. Like I said, we have Mr. Rick Mallory on. He's from up in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. That's his neck of the woods. And we are going to bring him on and hand the floor over to him and let him talk about what he's seen out there, some of the stuff that's been going on with him. So if you guys are ready, let's welcome Mr. Rick Mallory. How are you doing, sir?
Good, sir. How are you? Congratulations on your granddaughter.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Guys, we got some kind of feedback going on. There's an echo. I don't know what's going on with it. It seems like it's just me. So whenever I get done talking and he starts, it should be okay. But so we'll get started doing that. Rick, if you don't mind, buddy, let's we'll talk about that first encounter. What happened to you? Just if you don't mind, tell us what your level of knowledge was on Bigfoot before this happened, and then when this happened, and what exactly it was. And just take it from there, buddy. It's yours.
Well, this back a little over a couple years ago that Susan and I, my fiance, we decided to look into it. We were seeing on YouTube a lot, and so we thought, there's something interesting, something to get into. And we have a lot of woods, state parks near us. We got Caledonia right up here, Mechanic State Park, and other ones. And the Appalachian Trail runs across close to our house, probably about 1/16 of a mile up top of the hill. And I mean, before then, we were curious like everybody else. I guess you wanted to be believers and really weren't sure what to really think about it like everybody else. And so we started going out and looking for structures, and we'd find little tree stuff and be like, "Wow, look at that!" That's we found something that actually wasn't really anything at that particular time. Everybody does. You go through your motions and thinking you found something, you didn't. You weren't really sure. And I guess the day that really changed our lives, we were a couple miles from the house. And like I said, the Appalachian Trail runs real close to our house, right up here top of the hill. And it goes right to the park where we go to. And so we were riding my Jeep, and when we stopped and we actually got out of the Jeep, we were just looking around. It was right on the road. We didn't pull off the road. And we heard this rock clacking. At first, I thought it might be a woodpecker. There's just a very odd sound to it. It wasn't right. So we got back in the Jeep and we drove up the road about 1/16 of a mile. We're on the left-hand side, we pulled off the road, where there's this really long rock formation that goes back into the woods. And the Appalachian Trail, probably down the road, probably a half mile from there, maybe a little further from right where our spot is up there, up on the mountain. And we started hearing the same rhythm of the rock clacking. The opposite side of the road, up the road, 1/16 of a mile. It was. I wish I would have taped it to this day. I wish I could go on back and to that same day. And we got down probably about 50 yards off the road. Like I said, there's nobody around. There's no cars. There's no hikers. And we heard a tree break. I mean, it wasn't a stick. It was actually it was a large tree. You could hear it sound like a half stick of dynamite. And I stopped, and she stopped. And then I turned and looked at her. She actually started crying. It was just like, it was so believable. I'll never forget it this day. I can still hear, closing my eyes, I can still hear it break. It was that light. It was just unbelievable. And then we heard a bang. I turned back around. I was facing her, and I turned back around the way we were going. Up on a rock formation, probably 20 yards from us. We heard the first hit, and then we saw the second, the third, the fourth one went bang, bang, bang. There's a rock about the size of a football that was thrown at us from up top with the rocks down over. And it was shocking. I mean, it was at that point we weren't on, and I told her, I said, maybe we go, and we left, and we start processing actually what happened, and it took us a while, but you come to terms. I mean, you start questioning everything. You start, what if this, or what if that, what if it would have been this or that? But it was them. They're right there. And we've had at the same spot, we've had a couple other encounters where Sue was making these clicking sounds, and they would mimic her back. She has a tape of that. We took a tape of it, but she was making all these real complicated clicking sounds, and they were mimicking her back to the T. I went to get in my truck at that point, and they had said something. They started clicking and started making some noise after I whistled. I thought, well, let me let her try something, because being a female, you always hear that they get more interaction. And this went on for a while, where they were going back and forth. And she said when she was down in the woods, she doesn't really want to get on. She's kind of shy. But when she was down in the woods, she said she could hear them making noise back at her, like they were surrounding her. Like she went in the truck, and she was down probably about 50 yards and down in the woods in the same area we were at. she said she could hear different clicks coming back from around her. I'm starting to really spook her out. Then we've had a couple other wood knocks back in that area, and then on the other side of the park we've had wood knocks. But this whole area that we go to, there's structures everywhere, big huge tree bends, X's, tree breaks everywhere. I mean, there's not just like one or two; they're like everywhere. And last year we had Bigfoot Quest. They bought a camera. They brought their camera up and they did an interview, and I showed them some of the structures. They were pretty amazed. And it's now we know that, we look back at the fact that we used to think in all these years, and I grew up towards Erie, Pennsylvania, up north, and just all the woods up there, and I grew up out in the woods, but try to view things the way I do now, the way I used to and I hang around with a bunch of bikers. They all think we're crazy. All of our friends think we're nuts. They don't believe it. I guess you actually have to you have to go through it and live it. And so I mean, we reached out to other people, and I've been working out in northern Cumberland, Maryland, Green Ridge State Parks out there. It's real close to all my job sites. I work on farms. I spread manure for a living for farmers. I work out in the fields, and so I spent a lot of time back next to the woods, and I've spent a bunch of time in a state park after I found a bunch of structures out there, big stuff. I mean, I don't know what was put together out there, but they had huge. I mean, just because of the size of the trees and some of the stuff that they some of the stuff they've done. Sue's out here. She's in the kitchen listening to me. But yeah, it's been a journey all the way. I mean, we've got a photo album full of stuff. We tried. I mean, it's so close to our house. Like wherever we want to go out, a couple miles from here. It's just unbelievable. And there's been a lot of other. It's funny when you go out and we talk to people. We ran into an older couple, and we were down by the old over in Caledonia. They had the old prison camp, World War II prison camp, where sightings have been seen. We were talking to this guy and his wife, and we mentioned about it, and he said, and he goes, it's not really that crazy because him and his dad ran into one a couple miles from right there where we were talking to him years ago when they were riding mini bikes in the same area. It's just how odd how you run across people and you start bringing it up and you think they're gonna think we're crazy and how they have their own story.
You there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm sorry. I stopped dead. Sue, do you have anything? No? She's hiding. She's camera shy.
Yeah, let me ask you real quick. You said that you spread manure and stuff for a bunch of farmers in your area. Yeah. Have you talked to them, told them about what you've been finding and seeing what maybe had happened on their property?
Yeah, it's not, well, none. I don't spread in Pennsylvania, but I do Maryland. And then when I'm out in Western, I have talked to farmers out there, and one of them said, yeah, they said their uncle said that they seen one out there, reports of it, up on top of the one ridge line. So I saw one across the road. And actually Sue did have she's bringing that up. 3 weeks ago, Sue actually did have a visual on one. I didn't see it. I was in the car. We just done a little bit of a hike, looking at some stuff. And I was looking down in the car, and she was looking up the road, and she seen something hop across the road with one leap. And she said it had dreadlock, and she had a red kind of matted hair, like reddish dark hair, yeah, kind of like dreadlocks. And I didn't look up enough time, and she said that it was wide in the back, and it happened so quick. It was like she said it was like lightning, straight one hop and it was over. And I didn't get a chance to see it. I looked up, it was too late. But she was excited, and she said saw what she saw. I believe her. I mean,
wow. So she actually had a visual.
Yeah. I forgot to mention it. Yeah, this was just like 3 weeks ago. And it's still in the damn area up there. This whole area up there. There's lots and lots of deer in this area. And the thing about where we live, that there is farmlands. Right now, they have huge amounts of apple orchards in this area, and other farms that go down through the valley towards 70 here. It's just so there's endless food. I mean, this be the time. This is when we ran into them. 2 years ago. This is the time of year that we ran into them. They were up here, and that was right during the time when everything's coming right. Corn, they have squash, everything, peaches.
So do you think that maybe they're migrating
Yeah,
through,
that's what
and
I
this is
think.
just the time that they're in your area, or do you think that there's a family of these things in your area?
Well, we think I think there's definitely a clan that stays here, but I think there's other ones that come into the area. I mean, because we haven't got to the point. There's no doubt if we would have stayed where we were at when we got the rock thrown at us, that we could have definitely got a visual. But we were at that point. So we were at that point that we weren't armed. It was hard to comprehend at that moment exactly what was going on. I mean, actually to stop and think, wow, these things are real. You know what I mean? Like right there in your face. Because I'll never forget tree break. The tree break, it wasn't a branch, it was a tree, and it was loud. I mean, it was close by too. It was up on the ridge line, and we've gone back to that same spot, and we've been using it as a gifting area. And I left a couple of pies up there they're little tins that go into the little boxes. They do Walmart, the little pies that they have, the pecan ones.
Mm-hmm.
I left 2 of those up there. They sat there. They were probably there a couple of weeks, and nothing even touched them. And then we went back up, and one of the tins was laying out, ate, and one of the tins was still in a box, but something took it out, ate the pie, and put the tin back in it. I still have it in the closet. So something left the tin, other one ate the pie and put the tin back in it.
Okay, so that's what's going to be one of my questions. What you felt about gifting, about feeding them and stuff. So you guys think that's a good idea?
Oh, we don't know. To be honest with you, I mean,
Live and you learn.
Everybody says no. We just keep the leftovers that we have at the house that are throwing them out over the back of the fence, and we'll take them up and leave them. You know what I mean? To the end of the week, we'll go up. And like today, we went up, like it's a regular spot that we go to, and there's one big there's you got to hike way up there to get where we go to, anyways. But we have a spot that goes into the rocks, and I put a big rock over top of it, and then a bunch of stuff on top of it. So whatever gets in there it would have to work for it anyways. And we found I don't know if that little thing over there. So we found a little stuffed little animal before next to one of the marbles that we had that was up on the top of the ridge line where we are now, where we go to. It was just sitting up. We just happened to find it. But it was up on the rocks. I put out a couple of those little lights, the solar lights you buy at the dollar store.
Yeah.
They took them. Yeah, I left the radio out one time, and they took it. I left the radio on one night. That nighttime was raining. I've left out a voice-activated tick inside of a bag where it only comes on. So they found it 4 times and threw it. I mean, it should have been a person. You know, I mean, when we go, there's nobody around, but they seem like they take the bag, look at it, there's no food. They throw it about 20 feet away, 30 feet away.
A banana.
Okay, now how far did you say that you live from this area? You said it's just a couple miles, right?
Yeah, about 3 miles, 4 miles. Yep.
Have you had anything happen at your house? Because a lot of people will say when they start having like interaction with these things, they sometimes can follow them home if it's not too far. I mean, a couple miles, that would worry me.
Yeah, the back of our house is mountains. We go across the stream, and the woods go straight up to the valley, up to the Appalachian Trail. I mean, it should be nothing for them to come downstream because there's a reservoir up there which crosses the path crosses that reservoir. Water comes down, but yeah, it would be easy for them to find. So I've questioned the fact about right across the street up on the hillside, looking to see if I see stuff there. But it'd be easy for them to get the back of our house off, and kind of wondered that too. But I don't think it's really that close where they would. But I've heard of them finding people in residential areas, you know what I mean, that following them home, and so yeah, I thought about that.
Had a question for you. Crave Dog wants to know if you've had any visual encounters.
No, I haven't. Other than the fact that the day that we had the rock thrown at us, and soon I talked about that. if I would have known what I know now, was more enlightened to what I know now, you definitely wouldn't have left. I'd have been more cautious. But I think if it had been armed too at the time, I think we probably would have stayed. But I think this it's crazy is they were right there within yards of us, and if we would just prevailed and waited, then I would have had a shield. And I know they're here. I know they're close by, and I'm planning on being persistent about it. And it's just a matter of time, because I've got a pretty good idea where I think to better look, other than where we go now. There's a part of a valley nearby down from where we go right now that I think that we're going to find our tracks. Because I've heard wood knocks over in that area before, and there's a lot of structures down that area too. So we've got to know the area pretty well, all the roads and all the trails. It's kind of crazy. We were actually going up there. We were actually going up there so much, the same area, that we had the game commissioners come up, state game commissioners come up. They're all decked out in their military garb, and they were like wanting to know what we were doing up there. I guess they thought they practiced somehow coming in one of the ways in, and they probably figured that we were up there doing something illegal. So, and we told them we were trying to keep it to a minimum. I'm not trying to share anything with them, because they're as far as I'm concerned, they're not our friends. Reporting to the state park, they're going to report to other people, and it's just going to cause harm to the
yeah. How did that go? How did that go? You said you told them what you were looking for.
Yeah. Well, Sue did, because I have a plot watcher camera, and they're like $250. They're expensive cameras. That takes the visual. That takes your picture consistently. You know what I mean? You don't need it like trail camera. So I had a ladder, and I was going in the woods, and I was putting it up high. It wasn't a real big ladder, but it was high enough that nobody could get a hold of it. And I come walking out, and here these two troopers were there with her. And I'm like, I was like, oh boy, here we go. You know what I mean? But she was over there talking to them and telling what we were doing. I think they thought she was crazy. So, but it kind of worked out that way. But kind of got stuck in. He was going, here's my Kirby fine thing. Give me a call. And I immediately threw it out. I'm like, I'm calling him. I'm not trying to talk to them. The less they know, the better.
That's crazy. Yeah, we had a little run in with the U.S. Army, and one of ours we got completely shut down. We got a video up, and that was a crazy night. We have a video up right now talking about what happened with us, but we could do a whole other show about conspiracy theories and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. That's what I told Sue. I said I don't want to tell them anything. It's that's just you're just asking trouble.
But he's telling us to be very, very careful.
But what's weird is when I posted some of the videos about the Green Ridge State Park over there, and I went back this last year to some spots that I had seen. I was looking for new structures, these older structures that I had seen, the big, huge. These massive tree bends with these other trees laying across them. I mean, some of them were beautiful. They were gone. They were chopped up. They were cut down. So some of the stuff that I had taken pictures of and I had posted, and I had told where they were from last year, were gone. Were cut down. It wasn't squashes didn't come out or somebody. Oh, they were. They were cut, which I thought was weird. You know what I mean? It just seemed odd.
So, what kind of structures are you finding exactly?
Big X's.
Yeah, big X's. Big tree bends with the stuff down in leaners.
Trees are placed way up, about 7 foot, 8 foot in the air, across other trees.
Yeah, the trees are put up through trees. I would say that one of the ones we found that's still up and down. They locked the road off where I took George and Ed was. They snapped the tree off. It's probably about that big around. They put 2 other trees, and the ends were like this, stuffed it way up on top of a tree. On the other side, I've got pictures of it, and there's a video of it.
And they have 2 trees that they're along there.
Yeah, there's, but as far as that, then finding trees that are bent over and other trees that are stacked up next to them, and just like T structures, like I'll find whole ridges. If I go up, I'll find like a whole ridge, one just right after another. It's weird. It's like they put it up specifically to keep whatever out that area, telling somebody else or another Squatch that they're in that area.
The one side's loaded with.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird too. Is you go through parts of the park, and it's like nothing's there, nothing's ever touched. But you can go down the roads and you can see stuff. I mean, you don't have to go hiking way inside, and we've gone way down inside, but you can go along the roads and look right up and see. Plain and simple, they're like right there, and it's crazy that people don't know what they are. People drive by them every day and don't have a clue what they are.
So, have y'all developed any theories yet on what the individual structures mean?
No, not unless they show, which ways to go, or you'll find a lot of the trees up here too with the broken sticks at the bottom. You'll find 40 or 50 sticks all piled at the bottom, like these little trees all together. Still can't quite figure that out. No, but the thing about up here though is like even with tree bends, I mean you have your weight bearing with your snow, and we don't really get a whole lot of snow here, not like they do up north. But there was one day that we were going to go to our gifting spot, and Sue had a toothache. We had one bag of food with us, so we turned around. But you couldn't take the bumping on the road, so I just pulled over. So I'm going to leave it there, some animals, wherever. So I just got out and I left it alongside the road. Just walked in a little ways. It was getting dark, so we left. So what was weird is a couple weeks later, we're driving up the same. We always go in the same and out the same way, so we know everything that's in there. And I thought it was funny seeing all these trees in this little area all bent over, stuck in the ground, all of them. There was probably 9 or 10 of them right there. And it was first I got out, and I couldn't remember where I left that food. It was dark, and it was. I just hurried and dropped it when we left. Well, right there was that wrapper that I left. So I try to clean up everything I take up there. It was just one of them situations. But right where I left that bag of food, all those tree bends were stuck in the ground, and they weren't there when I did it because I randomly put it, somewhere. I just stopped quick. But it's just really kind of weird how right there, all those tree bends were freshly stuck in the ground right where that bag was. It was odd.
Yeah, that is odd. Now, the bends did they seem to all be pointing in one direction, or were they just?
They were like going down this way and this way, this way. They were all going, like there was some going over in this way and this way. So it was like
what about
the food?
Okay. What about the tree breaks that you're seeing? The breaks that come down horizontal like a 90-degree or they leave the top half hanging.
Yeah.
Do you see a lot of those?
Yeah.
How high off the ground are the breaks?
Those are anywhere from 6-7 feet off the ground. They're up pretty good. A bunch of them down here. Since you just said that, where they hang, they'll make A's. They'll break them down and leave them attached, and break them down, and they'll break them again.
Yep.
So we get still a bunch of those too. Yeah, they'll make A's or some of the structures. A couple of structures that I found too is where you have your trees that come up, where you have your anvil, like this, like your branches come up and they'll be cut off. So you have a bunch of these that are all shoved in together. I've got 2 places that I go to where they made a design where they're all shoved in with these like this, like all these are all shoved in like that. I don't know what that is either. It's weird.
The tree breaks that you're noticing, do they seem to be pointing in the same direction? A lot of people think that they're directional markers.
I don't know. There's so many of them up there. I mean, there's certain areas when you start up into certain areas that there's a mass amount of devastation tree breaks. I mean, it's uncorny. And I know 2 different spots where that is. 2 different places that are totally. One's up top mountain and one's down where we go, and it's right when you start going from the main road into the forest, and that's where they have the devastation that goes on for ways on both sides. Both sides of the road is just tree breaks after tree breaks at the station.
Okay. Now, have you gone to the BFRO and checked any sighting reports in your county?
Yeah, George had it. George Workman. He had a copy of it where it shows, and it's plastered around here. Gettysburg. There's been sites in Gettysburg. Gettysburg's real close to us. Out on 30, right there where the Appalachian Trail. There's been sightings there where they've crossed over 30. And Route 16 is right up here, and that's where I believe that whole area right there. That's where they cross over back and forth. Like I said, I think, and there's been a lot of sightings on the Appalachian Trail. So there's no doubt in my mind. I'm a firm believer that they use it for a highway, north and south, absolutely. Especially in this area for food. I mean, they could eat stuff, nonstop at night, run around. Nobody's gonna see them.
Yeah. Very, very true. Very true. So, what's that?
Oh, Sue's over here sitting. I asked her. I think she wanted to add in. She's over here making comments. She's camera shy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'd love to have had you and Sue on. I invited both of you guys, so she's welcome to hop on if she wants to.
No, I'm good, thank you.
I appreciate you taking the time.
Tell them about the banana that I left.
Yeah, we were leaving bananas for a little
3-4
while.
days later.
Yeah, and then they would bring banana, the peels back and lay them on the stump.
On the same gifting area.
Yeah, they would be gone, and then they would they brought back a banana peel.
2 or 3 days.
Yeah, 2 days. It was 3 days later. Because there for a while, I mean, there's been times we'd go up every day. We'd go up every day, hang out, just go up. So, and this has been going on. We've been up there a lot over since it's happened, the same area last couple of years. So, and like I said, we believe that there's a clan that lives here. We believe that there's some that come through, and we plan on doing some more night squatching. We have a couple flares. We have for our phones. We have a night vision, which kind of sucks. I'll make a better one, but it's a highly active, and we like to run into some other people that live close by or within an hour or so of where we're right on the Mason-Dixon line, right above Hagerstown. Just to be able to hook up and go out, do some squatching on the weekends, do a little research. So it makes it always better if you have that.
It's fun, man. That's what we do out here. I started a little Mannimal research a little over a year ago. And what I did was I put an ad on Craigslist looking for, like-minded individuals that would be interested, just trying to gauge interest. And, before I took it any further, I just tried to gauge interest, to see if anyone would want to join me, help me. And I had a pretty good response. And, since we've been doing this, we've taken in members in Missouri. We now have a team in Missouri. We have a team in Virginia. I think it's too far from you. A team that's coming up in Kentucky. We had a team in Georgia. And so, yeah, we're adding investigators everywhere. It's definitely it's worth doing, man. It really is.
Well, here's something interesting. It says Sue has a good friend that lived in Chambersburg, and he moved to Florida. Now, he was in the government for years, retired government, never had any consideration with Bigfoot, cryptids, or anything. He took a picture, and I've posted it on here, and that was with his permission on my page. And you can see the Bigfoot. He looked up and seen it behind his house, up by the burn pile. His mother had seen it, and it looks like there's other ones in the picture, but you can get a real good shot of it, clear shot of it. And this was right off Route 30, almost a couple years ago. This isn't far from downtown Chambersburg, in the middle of the day when he took this picture. And it's crazy, but it's a clear picture too. It's on my Facebook, but he allows us to share it, and it caused a lot of controversy. And we just told him, and I've been there. I've seen where it was taken. I've been there myself.
I took a picture of it without it there.
Yeah. But this whole, I firmly believe this whole area Like they have Letterkenny Army up close there, and they say there's a clan that lives in there. I used to dump trash in there years ago, and there's a massive amount of woods back there. They have bunkers, and nobody's back there.
Tell them about the one in Maryland where we're not supposed to go.
Yeah, we talked about going down to Maryland, down to Fort Meade. And they supposedly had that insane asylum down there that was Vic had a interview with somebody that there was sightings of Sasquatch down there near the insane asylum that's closed down. A lot of paranormal people go. See, I'm trying to. But anyways, we were talking about going down there, doing some squatching because it's only like an hour and a half from here. So they went down there doing paranormal stuff and ended up running into squatches.
That happens a lot. That happens a lot. Now, you might have said at the beginning, have you always been interested in Bigfoot? Or did that first encounter?
No, I ended up getting hurt at work. So I was off work for about a year. I had some surgeries going on and started looking on YouTube. We got YouTube. We got on our TV, and I started watching the videos. Started watching, it's got my curiosity. Well, there's more than one, and all these people, all these stuff that's going on. That's what I told her. I said, well, the state parks are right here. They got all these structures. Let's go see what we can find. And to our amazement, we started finding structures. We find and stuff, and it's like, and then you start, you're like, well, could nature have done this? Could it have done, could it have done it that way or done it this way? And it's crazy. It becomes an addiction. I mean, like for my job, I travel, so I'm on the road, during the weekend. And there's times I've gone down over to Delaware, and I've gone down towards Ocean City to work. And the crazy thing is I'm always looking, no matter where I go. It doesn't matter what state I'm in or whatever I'm looking at, and I find stuff. And I'll see tree bands or I'll see structures, and it's just crazy. I think there's a lot more. There's a lot more of these things or other cryptids than what we know or what we believe. That's what I think. I think at nighttime I come out.
Do you have a theory or an opinion on how many of them are out there?
I don't know. I don't think I could even begin to think, but I know that what I see, when I go, I see structures. I see structures going out 70 towards Hancock, Maryland, going out towards Cumberland. And I know what I see. I know the stuff I know what's doing it or something that's got to be like that doing it. But I know there's got to be a lot more than what people think. For them to be everywhere, for the sightings that we have, the amount of sightings, and from what we see, it's just unbelievable. The amount of activity in this area, just there has to be a lot more than what people think.
Yeah, my theory on the reason we're seeing so many of them lately over the last 15, 20 years or so is we keep building more houses. We keep going further and further into the woods, building log cabins, building these multi-million-dollar luxury cabins for the rich people to go out there and rough it in the woods. And we're taking their territory away from them. We're getting into their home. So where are they going to go? Obviously, we're going to start seeing more of them.
Yep.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with you. Yep, absolutely. And I mean, our government's known that these things have been around. Obviously, they know they're around. So I mean, look at the perfect example is the Appalachian Trail. I mean, if they knew years ago that our forefathers or somebody knew years ago when they put it together that these things exist, then you got to give them an in and out. So I mean, it makes complete sense that they would use that to go north and south as far as traveling and being able to migrate.
There's some reason that the government don't want us to know, and I mean, there's so many theories out there, and I mean that again, that's a whole other show that we could talk about on that too. You got the logging industry that would be affected if these things were to come out and say that they were real. I mean, building these houses, these cabins, like I was talking about just a few minutes ago, you know, we got to have the wood, you know, to do all that. And if it comes out that these things are real, they automatically become an endangered species,
Yep.
and then that stops the logging in certain areas. I mean, and that would just be devastating to that
Yeah.
industry.
Yep. I agree with you. Yeah,
And
I agree
again,
with you.
to the people that have joined us halfway through the show, or they're just joining us now, we're aware of the echo that's going on, and I've tried to fix it. I don't know how to fix it, but it's working. So you know we're getting to do the show. So if you guys could just bear with us, please, if you don't mind. It's a little annoying, but we can hear each other okay. So yeah, I just wanted to say that again. All right, Rick. You said you guys wanted to start doing some more night investigations. So have y'all been able to do any night investigations so far?
Yeah, we were out last weekend. They have a bunch of, well, they got 3 different reservoirs that are close by us up in the mountains. We found that that would probably at night for watering and be able to listen. And so we've been trying out a little bit as much as we can, and feel that probably a better opportunity for us to actually engage with them. Of course, we've had luck during the daytime as far as like Sue was up there when she was doing her interaction, because I got them started and I told her to get out of the truck and then see what she could do, and they mimicked her for a while, you know, back and forth, doing about 5 minutes doing the clicking and the clacking, and like I said, we have a tape of them up there making noises, banging, smacking trees and stuff like that. So we continue to always go back to the same area where we ran into them. We ran into, I believe it was a clan. There's too much activity going on where we were, as far as the tree break and the rock throwing, and I keep thinking the one that we heard down below to begin with probably ran up to the woods and bite us. I mean, to where we were, because there was so much activity. There's activity down there, and the weird thing is, I almost ran up on the hillside where that was. That would have been an experience, but we continue to go back to the same spot to where we ran into them. And I figure that's our best bet. We've ran into them there 3 times so far. We believe. We'll probably continue always go back there. But yeah, doing the night squad is, it's nicer when you have other people. You know what I mean? Sue gets a little, as soon as we start to watch out, Sue she gets a little bit noited out.
Yeah, there's definitely safety in numbers. You don't want to go out there alone, especially at night. And I've always heard any more people than 4, you're wasting your time, because you're not going to have any encounters with them.
Yeah.
But that 2, 3, 4 per person range is a good number, I think.
Yeah, it went out with George and his fiance or girlfriend, and it was nice. It was nice, comfortable, you know. Miles for it. I ended up actually a couple times walking back up to the vehicles, and we were out on the reservoir on the dam, and I'll have to admit, in this whole area, I mean, there's a lot of activity in this area. Your mind plays tricks on you when you're walking through there at night. It's quiet. I mean, you hear everything. Most time we've let out our arm.
Rick, are you on your phone or are you on a computer?
I'm on my phone.
I'm getting some of our viewers are saying maybe if you turn your volume down just a little bit, it might help that echo.
Is that better?
What about now, guys? Am I still echoing?
What are you guys on?
I still hear the echo. I don't know. It might just be something we have to live with, because we only got a few minutes left anyway.
I appreciate it. Normally I'm in bed at 6 o'clock at night. I get up at 3 o'clock from work, but tomorrow I'm not leaving so early. So, but I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, if you guys, if you're a Virginia crew, ever want to get a hold of us, I don't know what part of Virginia you're in, but yeah, we'd like to hook up with some other people, definitely.
Okay.
And we're willing to drive a bit, you know, and definitely share our stuff up here. We don't have a problem with it. there's so much of it, you can't help it.
Yeah, yeah. We got Travis and Will are our team up there. Travis is our lead investigator out there. I'll get him to get in touch with you and see how far apart you guys are. Maybe y'all can hook up.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, definitely. So I know Virginia's definitely probably gonna be a hot spot too. I mean, West Virginia, this whole area up through Hancock. They've been seeing Hancock. I know Hancock had a photo taken, or a little video was taken. Maryland, Hancock, Maryland, they're not far from us. Like I said, it's just weird. Is even when I'm running out 70, around 70 to 68, they have the 4-lane highway, but they have the medium in the middle, and the medium is actually pretty wide at places. You know what I mean? It's all treed, it's all woodland, and it's weird. Is when you're driving and you're always looking now. You're always looking to see. You're always glancing. I've seen stuff in the middle of the medium. You know, like they go in there and it's a pretty good swath of land. You can see them going in there and sitting at night just watching the cars go by. Sounds a little kind of far fetched, but it's you see what you see. You see X and stuff. You know, it's weird.
Now let me ask you this question. What do you think Bigfoot is? Do you guys lean more toward the woo side of it, or the more biological, it's a flesh and blood creature?
I would say more towards the flesh and blood. That's at this point we're kind of on the fence. I mean, we were watching Bigfoot Odyssey with Kerry Arnold, and he had interviewed the one researcher, a Native American, and he said that he and there was witnesses, like 10 witnesses there, and said that it was like half there and half not. It was like the predator. Yeah, like the predator, translucent. And he said he shook his hand, and they had, well, there was like 8 or 9 witnesses that were credible that were there and watched it. So I mean, I don't know. At this point in time, just about anything could walk out of the woods. I would probably believe it. I've become pretty open-minded. I mean, as far as the subject, we have some people we know that Shippensburg's close by here. It's 45 minutes away, and they're talking about dogman sightings up there. The dogman. So,
what do you guys think about
it? Say what?
What do y'all think about the dogman?
I think they're real. I think that the Vic had done the interview with the guy that was down, the fisherman down there at Fort Meade, and then Dawn from Dawn Wilderness. They said they just got pictures of one. I follow stuff a lot, but yeah, I mean, I believe they're real. I mean, I haven't seen one. I haven't, from what I'm gathering, and people that Dawn and them got a picture and they say it's real, and all the reports. It's like I said. I think at this point in time, I don't know. Years ago I've been like, you're crazy or how? You know what I mean? I've been like, a couple years ago I've been like, there's no way, like everybody else. But since we had our experience and the thing we've seen, I'm pretty much pretty open-minded now.
I myself, I don't know what to make of them. There's way too many credible people out there that have seen them to completely dismiss it. So I believe they're seeing something. But what I think is a misidentified Bigfoot. But then when you ask them about that, they swear that no, that's not the case. That it's not a Bigfoot.
It's got a dog's head.
And it's usually because of the hind legs are like crooked like a dog's, kind of. So I don't know, man. We got too much on our hands dealing with Bigfoot to throw in some kind of dog.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Well, the one female that I know from Shippensburg said she's seen him twice. She said she's had 2 encounters, and there was a garbage man that's out there. It's on YouTube. I haven't been able to find the interview, but they said that she's had 2 visual sightings, and she knows of another one has in that area. Sue and I talked about going up there and taking a ride early in the morning, just ride around some of the back roads, and then take a look. Just like I said, all of our friends think we're crazy. We normally Friday, Saturday night, we'd be down at the watering hole drinking a few beers, this and that. Now we find ourselves out in the woods with thermo imaging gear and flashlights.
It's fun, ain't it?
Yeah. It definitely
Everybody
gets
thinks you're funny until they see one. Everybody thinks you're crazy until they see one themselves.
Oh yeah, yep. People think we're nuts, but I'm telling you, we try to tell them, like all my bosses at work, we talk about it, and my coworkers, they kind of brush off. But I'm telling you, I say, hey, and my one boss, my one foreman, he goes hiking all the time. He's out in the woods with a bunch of his buddies. I said, watch, one of these times you're gonna end up, you're gonna end up running into one. So it's weird. He looks now. He looks in the woods more now. He's paying more attention.
Yeah, my favorite argument is, why haven't we found a body? Why haven't we found any bones? That's so ridiculous, man.
Yep.
How many bear bodies do you come across? How many bear bones have you found in the woods? Nature takes care of this stuff. That's one. And then my personal belief is that they bury their dead. There's been people that have reported watching Sasquatch bury their dead. And if they're so much like us as people, and that's how we respect our dead, that's how we get rid of our dead and pay, homage and respect to them, then why can't they do it?
Yeah. Well, I've found a couple different times. I've found huge mounds in the middle of the woods, like they look like graves. And I don't touch them. I don't mess with them, man. I don't. You know what I mean? I really don't want to know. I don't want to go digging through there. But it's weird out of nowhere. You'll find a big ass hole, and you'll find a big pile right next to it. As far as it looks like a grave. And I've often wondered it, but I'm like, I'm not. If that's what it is, then I'm not messing with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's been all kind of reports of people witnessing them burying their dead like 8-9 feet deep, and then pushing a big boulder over it, to kind of conceal it. But we don't know for sure. Even if they don't bury their dead, the chances of us finding an animal in the woods that is so scarce as this thing is, it's not going to happen, I don't think.
Well, up where we're at, the area that we go to, there's a whole side of this one mountain where it would be impossible to get up in there, like being a person. But it'd be a great place. Like there's caves up and through there, massive boulders, and it would just be hard getting up there. They would see you anyways. Even where we go now, they would see you coming way before you would see them. I mean, it's a strategic place where they're at. I've been way back in the back. It's like a little city back here. It's awesome. But we're going to keep on doing what we're doing, and hopefully, hook up a couple other people. But it's an addiction. I plan on doing it the rest of my life now. We plan on going out on weekends. We make time on the weekends. We were out today for a little while. We'd like to make a little bit more time from what we do. But like I said, this is the time of year that we're more prone to go out. This is when I believe they're more active here, and it makes sense with all the farms and all the food that's available. They can just eat here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You hit it right on the head when you said it's an addiction. It becomes an addiction. It really does. You start to get that evidence, and even if you get a sighting, I imagine that's even worse. But you start getting that evidence, and you got to have more, man.
When I saw my sighting, that did it for me.
Yep, that's what it kicked Sue back in. She was getting burned out a little bit about it, getting aggravated. You know what I mean? Even though we went through before then. I'm disappointed that I didn't look up quick enough, but my time will come. I know that, it will happen. We're going to be more persistent about it, and we're going to get more out into the woods, and especially this time of year. So going forward with the next few weeks, we plan on getting more out into the woods and being more active, because this is when they're being more active, and this is when they're in the area. So we got to take advantage of the time. So, but definitely. And that's one thing about weird with the Appalachian Trail too is the one kid that was taken, the Smoky Mountains. There was he was hiding behind the tree, and then some people later seen him. So there is a lot of history and a lot of activity related to the Appalachian Trail as far as sightings go. I mean, all along it.
Yeah. Are you talking about Dennis Martin?
Yeah, yep, I think that's what it is.
Back in the 60s, I think.
Yeah, when they seen them, they disappeared. They were playing hide and go seek, but that's not the only one. They have a lot of 4-1s that go down with David Flightus, but they seem to be drawn to the kids for whatever reason, and keep an eye on your kids. On the Appalachian Trail. That's all I got to say.
That's very, very good advice. That David Martin case, that's heartbreaking, man. That's a terrible, terrible story there.
Well, that was definitely a squatch. I mean, there was witnesses that seen every man run up the high side of the hill, kid screaming, wearing the clothes that he was. So it'd be pretty naive to think it wasn't.
And they brought in the Green Berets like a week later. Why would they do that? The Green Berets came in and they only did their exercises at night, and they were there for like a week, and then they didn't share any information with the other authorities, other bodies of authorities. They didn't communicate with them. They came in, they did something, and they left. So
yeah, they probably found it and took it out.
That's exactly what I think. That's exactly what happened. They found it, took care of it, and the little boy was gone, unfortunately.
Yep.
All right, Rick, we're coming up on an hour, buddy. Had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we got through it. I appreciate you coming on, and tell Sue I appreciate her help too.
He's here, Sue.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
She said she's sorry. Yeah, she's shy. She's over here in pajamas. She's all shy.
Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on.
Have your guy get a hold of me possibly, and
Okay.
I'd like to hear from him. Hit me up. But
I'll message Travis when we get done here in just a minute and get him to reach out to you. And yeah, we'd love to have you out there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yep, you guys are always welcomed here. Definitely.
I appreciate that. Man, maybe we can get out that way and get out in the woods with you.
All right. Sounds good, man.
All right, you guys have a good night. Be safe, okay?
Yep, thank you.
All right, guys. Seems like that echo is gone now. I hate that we had that. That was a good interview that might have been ruined from all that echo. Maybe not. Rick's a good guy. Him and Sue had interesting encounters, had some interesting stuff going on out there, and we'll stay in contact with them, and maybe he can link up with some of our guys out that way, and find some more stuff that we can pass along to you guys. I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight, hanging out with us. Had a lot of the regulars, had Pappy there, and Crave Dog, and tonight was the first time that we streamed both to YouTube and to Facebook. So you guys noticed me looking back and forth here. That's what I've been doing, was trying to watch our YouTube stream and our Facebook. So if I seemed a little distracted, I'm sorry. Excuse me. But yeah, I think it went well. And again, I want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out with us. Again, guys, hit that subscribe button if you hadn't already done it. And we'll check out our website there. We put a lot of work and a lot of time into it, and we would appreciate it if you guys will help us out. All right, guys, all of that being said, I hope everyone has a good, safe week. And everybody, y'all be safe, be careful, just be good to each other.